Hello, I'm Denise Rollins, Executive Director of the Whole Heart Grief and Loss Resource Center. What we want to share with you is a little bit of information about how the Whole Heart Grief and Loss Resource Center was created. I often, when people ask me the story, I look back to when my mom was killed in 1995 by a drunk driver, and I really thought that that was the genesis of this idea, because I know that I was grieving. I was only 29 years old at the time that she passed away, and I truly didn't know what to do, and the people around me were baffled about how to support me. And so from that and all my subsequent losses, the passing of my 5-month-old son, my aunt who was like a surrogate mom, and also my husband, in each instance that idea grew that we have to find a way to support people, and we have to find more relevant information to support ourselves. I say that I thought it started with my mom, but now I realize it started when I was 16 years old and my grandmother passed away suddenly, and the grief that I felt and the inability to express that to anybody. In fact, it wasn't until so many years later that I even realized that I went through this tremendous grief. In fact, that year, I didn't even go to school most of my senior year. I called the organization Whole Heart because I believe that when you have those losses, it is as if a hole appears in your heart. And over the years, I tried to fill those holes with all the wrong things. Sometimes it was shopping, sometimes it was being in a relationship with a member of the opposite sex. At some point it became sex. Some people fill it with drinking and drugs because we just want to feel better. We don't know what to do. It's not as if grief is a class that we take in high school that prepares us for the future. In my case, no one really talked to me about grief. So I called it the Whole Heart Grief and Loss Resource Center because I felt like that hole appears, H-O-L-E, in our hearts, and we're trying to fill it. The goal is for us to become whole, W-H-O-L-E, again. And the center is all about finding strategies in order to do that. What really brought it to fruition was in my second marriage when I met my first date with my husband-to-be, and we just talked about our dreams for the future. And one of mine was to help people with their grief. And he was a funeral director, and for him, he wanted to help people long after the service. And so with my vision and his support, the Whole Heart Grief and Loss Resource Center was born. And we help people to fill those holes with things that are fulfilling and positive and advantageous, so that after a loss they can have post-traumatic growth, that out of bad something good can come. And that's what our desire is with the center.